Welcome to the Unleash Your Power podcast. I'm your host, Anastasia Jones, creativity mentor, author, and limiting belief gladiator. My purpose is to help you transcend fear, take bold, aligned action, and co-create the life and business of your wildest dreams. The world needs your art now more than ever. And if you're ready to embody the creative force within you, then you're in the right place. Now is the time to make your mark. Now is the time to unleash your power. Are you ready for our first bonus episode? I'm excited to share this information with you because this is part of my process, my creative process. I do this every single year. It is a year in review. Number one, as a creative, it can be hard to feel like you're actually making progress toward your dreams and your goals. And so by taking time to really focus and realign with your vision, you end up just seeing in black and white that you are indeed making progress toward your goals and that this year has been a very important year for you creatively. And I can say that every single time I do a year in review, and I usually do this at the end of the year, I always feel so good because I'll share more about it, but there's this sense of leaning into the unknown. Because at the top of the year, we have intentions, right? We have goals. And then, sometimes those things change. And, we have to pivot throughout the year. And, it's a great analogy. I don't know the name for it, but when boats have to get from one place in the ocean to another, they do not sail in a straight line. They sail kind of in a zigzag, and they plan out this zigzag so that when they reach that point, they're exactly where they desire to be. But the route to that point looks different. It's not a straight line. And I feel that way with art, with creativity sometimes, where I see the end goal, like I see what I want, but it is not linear getting there. There are twists and turns along the way. There are decisions that I choose to make that will seem like they're setting me back, but really they're advancing me forward. So sometimes when those things happen over and over and over again, it can kind of be hard. You feel like, okay, am I closer to the life that I want? And so when you do a year in review, you can see your progress in black and white. I'm going to share with you the steps that I take to do my year in review. I begin with writing down a list of the things that I loved. These are aligned actions that I have taken throughout the year that are in line with my value system. So I value traveling and exploring. Well, one thing I loved about 2022 is that I did the most travel that I've ever done in a year. And I loved it. So that's one thing I wrote. I also loved that I have grown more intimate with my money. That's another thing that I loved about this year. I launched a podcast. I wrote and self-published a book. I launched new programs that are perfectly in line with my brand and my values. And I enrolled new clients. And so the list goes on, but start with what actions you took this year that you loved and that were in alignment with your values. And I want you to celebrate every single one of those things. These don't have to be grand things that you did throughout the year. Truly just feel into what did I love? What actions did I love taking this year? What things am I so proud that I started this year? It could be therapy. right? It could be you started a dance class and you loved that decision. So come up with this list. The next thing I do is write a list of wins that I am celebrating. So I write down every single program that I've launched. I write down every single website I've copywritten. I write down every single workshop I've facilitated. I write down every single speaking engagement I've done. And I write down every single book that I've sold this year. I also record every single course that I have taken this year because I want to remind myself that I always desire to be a lifelong learner. And so seeing it in black and white, all of the ways that I've learned throughout the year is really empowering for me. So I want you to include that in some of the wins that you're celebrating. And this is where I quantify a lot of my activities. So when I record every single program that I've offered, I also record the incredible souls that I've had the honor of working with and supporting. Same with my website copywriting. I record the clients that I've copywritten for and how many projects we worked on together. Same thing for my workshops. I record the name of the workshop and every single person that registered, whether this workshop was free, whether this workshop was an investment. I record all of it. And lastly, speaking engagements, I record as well. So once you've processed through all of that, all of the wins, then I want you to move on to money channels. This is what I do next. So I process the aligned action I've taken that I've loved. Then I process all of the wins that I'm celebrating. I quantify as much as I can those wins. And then I look at all of those things and I write down the different channels that I have allowed money to come to me through. And this really helps because I get to see like what skills am I actively using and being compensated for? What skills can I continue to develop and be compensated for? And also, am I getting closer to co-creating the life that I want, which is a life where I coach, I write, I speak, and that is it. And so it's cool coming up with these money channels because I can now see in black and white that those are the ways that money is coming to me right now. And these are all skills that I possess. So it's cool seeing it written down. Then I want you to go into what things you will change for 2023. So I don't want you to think about what did I do wrong in 2022. I want you to just look for solutions. I want you to just look forward. So the way we phrase this is, what will I change in 2023? This can be anything. Personal, work-related, relationships, all the things. So come up with a list of things that you desire to change in 2023. And stay positive, okay? Everything in this list should be a solution, should be something that's going to move you forward in the direction of your vision. Then I want you to write down some fun ideas that you have for 2023. So whether this is, I want to create some more trainings on this. I want to write a book about this. I want to release some podcast episodes about this. So the ideas list can be as long as you want, but you'll have now the information that you can pull from the things that you loved about this year, the things that you desire to change for next year. And then all of those will kind of come together into these great ideas that you have moving forward. So once you have exhausted your list of ideas, I want you to create those as bullet points so that in 2023, you can come back and check them off and say, I did this idea. I did this idea. Now, I want you to not be as obsessed with the idea as you are with taking action toward it. Sometimes the ideas that we have can take on like a life of their own, and we get so obsessed with the idea itself that we don't take action toward it. So when you're looking at your list of ideas, I want you to just see them as possibilities. And I want you to just be more obsessed with taking action toward them than the final result of the idea itself. Lastly, when you're doing your year in review, I want you to come up with a list of questions that you have. So as you're creating your lists, things you want to change, things that felt really good to do, things you love, ideas that you have, along the way, you might have questions. Questions about, honestly, it could be anything. Questions about relationships. You could have questions about business. You could have questions about processes. You could have questions about programs. You could have questions about mediums that you want to explore. So whatever your questions are, I want you to put them kind of on the sheet as well. Save them for last. Think through what questions you have. And then, my friends, you have done it. You have done your year in review, and you can just feel really, really good knowing this information exists in one place and you can refer to it at any time. And also this will kind of spur on some inspiration for your 2023 vision planning and intention setting. I hope this episode has been great for you. Check the show notes out because I will create a PDF of this year in review process for you so that you can take some time, print it off or keep it on your computer and just write in some of the responses to these prompts. Sending you so much love as you and I head into 2023 together. Hey friend, thanks for listening. I'm so happy you're here. If this episode helped you in any way, please take a screenshot, share it with a friend, post it to social media, and better yet, why don't you leave me a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening from. My desire is to activate as many creatives as possible. And if you are looking for additional support on your creative journey, you can always connect with me on Instagram at AnastasiaRJD or visit the links in the show notes. We've got free resources to reignite your creativity and soul-centered ways that we can continue to work together. I'll see you again next week. Same time, same place.